Hey, how you doing? I'm Dan McGee. Welcome to my garage. So I'm on Facebook and I noticed a meme going around, and it's been around before but now it's resurging again. And it seems like it's got a lot of traction because a lot of people are sharing it. So the meme is basically asking the question if they should put industrial arts back in our school system. Well, the simple answer for me is absolutely. But it turns out that a lot of schools never actually discontinued it. So I'm not sure. I think a lot of these people are taking for granted that they're gone. But even at our school, Argo, where we went, they've changed, but they modernize. They do a lot of things now with computers, CAD, CNC. It's basically the machines that if you got a job nowadays, that's what you would be running. So to automatically think that they're gone is wrong. They're not gone. They've just changed curriculums. Now, I do know that the class that I had, where you learned how to build furniture and cabinets, I'm pretty sure that's gone now. And now they're teaching you more roughing carpentry, how to do houses and roof lines and things like that, which we never had that. But things change, and of course it's a great craft. I don't know if you call it a craft. I guess craft to know how to build furniture and cabinets, but a lot of that's built overseas, and it's a kit. It comes over. You go to IKEA and you buy a big shelving unit that comes in a shoebox, and when it's done, it looks pretty cool, and it's affordable. So, anyhow, I was able to make a living on just what I've learned in high school, and for that matter, all my schooling. So I went to got the last things out of my mom's house before the house was sold, and she kept all kinds of really cool stuff that I built throughout my whole life. So I have some of it here, and I just wanted to share it because I think it's important to realize that even at a super early age, everything you learn with the aspect, of course, of working with your hands, of course, it's not unlike baseball. If you can't learn baseball by just watching TV, you actually have to do it. And that's the same with woodworking, metal shop, all the trades. You actually have to do it in order to learn it. So anyways, getting back to things that I built. So this here I made in, I think it's either 6th or 7th grade. It says 7th grade on it, but I think it was made in 6th grade. But anyhow, this was a cutting board, and you could see the beautiful cuts in it. That was all done with a hand jigsaw, and then we drilled the hole out. But we got to put a picture, and then we put like a shellac over it. But anyhow, this was one of the first things that I ever built in school. So this was in Wilkins School, either 6th or 7th grade. So even that's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people have never even done something like that. Again, this is not bragging. This is just showing that the knowledge you learn, you just keep adding on to it to do bigger and better things. So that was woodworking. Now, metal shop, I built, this was like 8th grade or 7th or 8th grade again. So this was a recipe box. You guys probably, if you went to Wilkins, you probably built one of these too. It was mainly guys at the time. There were a few girls that took the class, but the majority of it were guys. So, anyhow, we got to learn how to cut sheet metal, bend it, and then do rivets. Now this rivet here is what they was like, well, I forgot what they call it. Like a cold rivet where you put it almost looks like a nail. Except it's a softer steel, and you would pound it and it would stretch out, and that would hold things together. But on the other side, because it was a learning piece, we did a pop rivet. And actually you can see I messed up on the holes. So now I never actually used these rivets since I got out of school. But now pop rivets I've used throughout my whole life. I've built a lot of things, and I learned how to do it when I was in 7th or 8th grade. So this is a pretty cool project because of how many things, and in bending metal, I've bent a lot of metal. So again, this was Wilkins. This was this was like 7th or 8th grade, I think. But pretty cool piece. Anybody for some pancakes? Let's flip them babies over. Flip, flip, flip. All right. Moving on. Now we're in high school. This was built either junior or senior year. Again, this was all they were projects to learn different machines on. So we did this on the metal lathe. This is aluminum, by the way. So we learned how to taper, knurl, do a facing, and we learned how to do a thread, which the thread's not very good. I kind of screwed that up. And then this here was done on a shaper. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this was done on a shaper, not a mill. So this is a big machine. I'm not sure if they really use shapers anymore. I think everything's done with mills now. But all these little grooves was done with this machine that just goes back and forth and just is so powerful it just rips out the metal. It just peels it. It's pretty cool. So, in case you don't know what this is, it's a meat beater. You can't beat my meat because I've got this one. Anyhow, pretty cool project, right? For being in high school. So this is all my metal stuff. Now in high school, I mainly did woodworking. I did some welding, print shop, drafting, but my main focus was woodworking. So, I built that grandfather clock. I built some shelving, and the reason I really got into woodworking was mainly because friends of mine, the Learys, they were really into woodworking in high school, and they built some really beautiful end tables and some other shelves and stuff. And I just thought that was the coolest thing, to be that young and be able to use these, machines, these powerful machines. And they trusted you to do that. So now that stuff you can't, again, you can't do that, in the programs that they have now in our area anyways. In other schools they might have it, but they don't have it in ours. But it's still fine though, because you could still learn. I mean, most of the stuff I learn nowadays is on YouTube. So if you wanted to pick up a new hobby and learn how to build a cabinet, you could just go on YouTube. So, but it would be nice to have it in school again, and things come back around, and maybe it will come back. Let's see. Drink. Okay. Everybody, go get a quick drink, and then I'll give you some show you some pictures of some of the mechanical stuff that I built. Okay. All right. We're starting. Ready or not, here we come. So, one of the first things that I built right out of high school, because I was telling you about my woodworking background, I was able to get a job at a wood shop, and we specialized in Spanish-style furniture. So I built this van when I was 19 years old. Not the van itself, but all the decorations you're going to see. I built when it could have been 20, between 19 and 20 years old, I built this. So this is the exterior. Back in the 70s, vans were like really big time in. So I really liked it a lot. I wish I still had it. It's hard to tell, but on the back of it right here, it says Woodchuck. That was my nickname in the auto parts store I used to go to on 83rd in Harlem. They used to call me the Woodchuck, so that was kind of cool. All right, let's move on. I'm going to find the interior of it, because the interior is pretty cool. Oh, there it is. Too far. So that's interior. All plush. That was the same material. And in this table, it's kind of hard to tell, but this table was done with routers and chainsaws. And then there's like a bowl up here, and that was done, same thing. It was cut out on a bandsaw, and then it was all textured with the chainsaw. So we did some cool stuff. The guy that I worked for was an artist from California, actually. So I'm doing all this stuff when I'm like, I don't think I was even 20 when I was doing all this stuff. So that's my woodworking that I did right out of high school. So the next project that I worked on was this car. So that's a 1973 Opel Manta. So that originally came with a 4-cylinder motor. It's an Opel, was from Belgium, so it was an import, but it was a really good import. Oh, by the way, this I built a brand new frame on it, put a brand new front end, and brand new rear end in it, and then I did all the paint on it. So the reason I did all that was because I put a big block Chevy in it. It was a 396, I think it was bored out to equivalent to like a 402. So it was a big motor for this little car. That was fun to do. Oh, back to the... Let's see if I got any more pictures of the car. So this was the first paint job that I did, and that's my brother Bill. We were in a parade on Harlem Avenue. If you look in the background, if you're from our area, you'll be able to maybe recognize this was Keene gas station was in the background here. So by the way, my brother Bill, me and him worked together a lot on our stuff. He built stuff too. He was 7 years younger than me though. So if I'm in my 20s, he was still, he was probably 14 or 15 years old when he was started building cars, which I didn't really start building cars till I was in my 20s, because I was still working on woodworking stuff. So anyways, that's the second paint job that I had. I did all the stripes and everything too. Pretty cool, right? Now that's this is what I built after I got rid of the car. I built this tractor, and the tractor is made out of car parts and tractor tires. That's about all. The only thing tractor on this whole tractor is the tires. Even the front tires were not tractor tires. The front of it was a Opel GT, actually. I used to rebuild Opel GTs and Mantas, so I had a lot of spare parts. And this had a 350 Chevy engine out of a Monte Carlo, 1973 Monte Carlo. So this was in these fenders I built. That's just made out of sheet metal. The hood on this is actually from I think it's from a Mustang. Now it's been a while, I can't remember. But there's a side view of it. It's pretty badass, ain't it? I put headers on it with the short pipes. The frame I built, it was out of 2x4 tubing. The whole tractor was put together, welded together with gas welding. It wasn't even done with a TIG or MIG or any of the fancy welders. Again, this goes back to high school. I had welding when I was a senior, and I graduated a half a year early. So first half a year, you learned gas welding. You learned how to cut with acetylene and oxygen. You learned how to weld. Well, the second half, you would have learned how to do stick welding and MIG welding. So that happened. Where was I? Oh, we second half of the year, we would have learned how to do the electric welding. And since I graduated, I never learned how to do that. So all my welding up to now, everything I built, I've always gas welded because I don't know how to do the other. So let me shrink this back down. So anyhow, that's just some of the stuff that I built. And if you notice that through my life, I've never really followed a single path. I've done all kinds of different things. I've got a really short attention span, and I get bored real easy, and I move on with things. So all this stuff I do with video, I self-taught myself how to do the filming and editing and lighting and all that. It's just trial and error. That's all it is. Anybody can do pretty much anything I could do. It's just a matter of wanting to do it and putting in some time to learn it. And realistically, now you can go on YouTube and learn this stuff watching other people make mistakes, and it's actually way easier to learn nowadays than it would have been when I was learning all this stuff. But it was I love doing it. And I used to have some people say, oh yeah, well, you're a jack of all trades, master of none, which in a way it's true. I'm not really great at any of it, but I'm good enough to do a lot of it. And I'm turning 61 in a few days, and I'm about to enter a new phase, and I want to learn how to do metalworking, work a lathe and a shaper, and do electric welding. So I'm about to set myself up with some new tooling and welders, and I'm going to build that bucket for my tractor that I was about to build, and I put that on hold just because it became summertime and I have all that work I'm doing outside. So I guess that's about all. I mainly wanted to do this video just to show people that it's never too late to jump into a new interest, a hobby, or anything like that, that makes you happy to do. Some people are happy just sitting around watching TV, which is, more power to you. But I would rather stand around watching TV and build stuff. So at the end of the day, it's whatever you like to do. But I guess that's about all for now. Have a great day, and it's never too late to learn. Cheers, baby. Cheers.